was it to you? The track I lay.
So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Welcome to the P.A.C.E Radio Show. My name is Al Graham, and we are coming to you live here at LifestyleRadio.ca, or you can also find us live at Spreaker, Shoutcast, and over at TuneIn Radio. That's correct. We are live, and we are on earlier than normal, but this is a special occasion, and it's something that we're glad that we're still able to do. Tonight, my joint host is Debbie Schultz-Giffen, and she has brought us two guests who are very close to her and work extremely hard at helping patients. But before we learn more, we're going to have a little chat with Deb, talk some news. I think I know what our news subject is because I see, Deb, you're in the news.
Well, I was actually last week, Al. I was approached by CBC to discuss a new business in the country called National Access Cannabis, and there's one that's popped up on Spring Garden Road, apparently. They have plans to have 40 locations across the country. The figures that I was quoted by this CBC reporter whom I spoke with said they were looking at charging an annual $100 a year membership fee, and that would give the patient access to cannabis classes. Ways to prepare your medicine, basically, was what she had heard. And then for $150, once you've, of course, paid your $100 a year membership, they will go over your application and make sure that your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And after when the piece aired, it came to light that there would be doctors working directly with these clinics. So basically, it's a business model, in my mind, doing a lot of the things that compassion clubs, dispensaries, and not-for-profits like Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana Society here in Nova Scotia, among many others across the country, have been doing basically for free for many, 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 many years.
Yes, I know. I understand what you mean by that. I have some of the same sort of situation up here. There's a lot of advocates who have been doing it for nothing for free, and the clinics are coming in and sort of doing the same things. But I see on here they're talking about overdoses and stuff like this on the news article.
Well, certainly, I mean, I do find that a favorable thing, is that he was looking at cannabis as being quite a viable alternative to opiates, and realizing that it certainly would help to prevent opiate deaths that are rampant from coast to coast to coast in this country.
I see here they talk about 300 people who have suffered at the hands of opiate drugs.
That wouldn't surprise me for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. No, it's good that they reached out to you to get you involved in this, because getting access to the patients, and we got a new program coming up in less than a month, so it's be interesting what will happen at that point too.
It is. I've heard multiple rumors, from limited plant counts to the government's going to ask for an extension of time because the legalization model's right around the corner, and and the fact that perhaps there will become available a national insurance program to provide coverage for all low-income patients, thereby, why the heck would you need to grow your own anyway?
Nice. Do you know of any of these clinics that are like this, whether they are advocating for patients towards insurance companies?
Well, this clinic is new. Just opened within the last couple of weeks, as near as I can figure, and I think it's sort of the first one. So I'm not quite sure what they're advocating, other than patient education and physician access.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm not sure as well if you were to start blowing dust off of things, if you would, that there may not be a licensed producer in the background somewhere. Yeah,
exactly. Well, I know of some clinics up here where a patient can go to them and they'll get signed for free, but you have to join one of eight LPs that they're connected to.
Well, and certainly you've got Marijuana for Trauma and the Trauma Healing Center, and they connect patients with doctors, and I believe that the fee structuring is somewhat lower. I know veterans have free services, and
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
You get me too high. I overanalyze. If you've ever been too high, then you can sympathize. You get me too high. And I start to fly if I said some silly thing, and that's the reason why. Shiva, my sativa, you get me too high.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Gignac seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Gignac seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today, 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
The following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process, and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet, www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
This is Al Graham of the P.A.C.E Radio Show. Are you keeping pace, as in keeping people advocating cannabis education? If you're not, and you're a cannabis consumer, then why not? Others are working hard every day to help educate people about cannabis so you can enjoy your daily 420. Get involved and speak out. Be loud and proud so that you can keep pace. Tune into the P.A.C.E Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear about people advocating cannabis education here on LifestyleRadio.ca.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
Hey Shiva, got a fever. You get me too high. You get me too high.
Hello and welcome back to the P.A.C.E Radio Show here at LifestyleRadio.ca. We are live, and when we're live, and if you have a bit of a problem, technical problem, those things happen. But hey, life continues on, and you keep the show going. Let's see what else is new. I just want to let everybody know that this Sunday, catch another live edition of the 420 Road Show. I'll be live on location at Freedom Festival, located at the Freedom Fields Naturist Ranch near Tamworth, Ontario. Al Rapp of Lifestyle Radio, plus Ross and Deb Middleton of BMA Hydroponics, plus radio guests such as Marcel Gignac will be joining us on the show. We'll be talking to everybody there at Freedom Fields about cannabis, but that's not all, as we'll also be talking about naturism. Think of it as a live broadcast of an educational seminar for everyone. We'll be talking about non-smoking alternatives to the history of cannabis and naturism. And before we do some interviews with some people there in attendance, see what they have to say. So join us Sunday morning, 9 a.m. for a Wake and Bake session. We're just going to have some talk about the news and the start of all-day live broadcasts from Freedom Fields Naturist Ranch. For more information, you can find them at freedomfieldsnaturistranch.com. And before our commercial break, I didn't get to introduce our guests, so I'm going to let you know that we have Chris Backer and Marcel Gignac from Marinators United for Medical Marijuana. Hi, guys. How are you there today?
Hey. Doing great, sir.
Doing great. Doing great. You're going to join us on Sunday, Marcel. Are you going to be okay with that?
Oh, yeah. Do I have to wear clothes?
No.
Perfect. I'll be comfortable then.
We'll be able to see you on the radio, just sitting there in your birthday suit, man.
Good thing he's got a face for radio.
Yeah.
That's what it's designed for.
Yes.
Always something to be thankful for, right?
Yep.
And that's just the face. I won't even go into the rest.
Oh, no. People want to see my body, they can come out to Harvest Fest.
There you go.
That's right. Hey, it's
the topic.
Because they need to be high.
Well, it was all covered in half naked and covered in sweat, so.
Well, hey, you guys were working hard there last weekend at your Harvest Fest. It was probably really hot and sweaty. You probably wouldn't have minded taking some clothes off.
It wasn't a matter of wouldn't mind. We kind of had no choice for some of us.
She was a toasty day.
Sure was.
Okay, well, talking about that, guys, I'll let Deb get to go on some questions. I know we're going to be talking about the Harvest throughout the show, and as always, I always jump in.
Well, I'm just going to chat for a second for our listeners and let them know that this was our 9th annual Harvest Fest. Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana Society is a registered not-for-profit here in Nova Scotia, as many of you know, and it's our largest annual fundraiser, and basically it's a family gathering, if you would. Wouldn't you say, Chris and Marcel?
Absolutely.
Oh, my whole family was there.
Yes.
Nice.
Our families and extended families often, and in reading many of the posts on Facebook that it was another ripple in the pond, and more people feeling that sense of family and connectivity and really wanting to be there.
We had over 200 people, and there was not one incident of any kind. There wasn't even an argument. So, like, what more could you ask for? Well, then it would be less like family, because my family, we all fight. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, it might have been better than family at times.
there you go.
Very much so. But, I mean, we had such a wide range of people there from 4 years old up into the 70s and 80s. And it's amazing to get that range of people and still not have any type of conflict.
Because those little kids are jerks, you know.
I'm bringing a
They're always
water
starting
gun.
stuff.
That little Wyatt kid, I've got a water gun for him.
Now, would it be because there was no alcohol involved, or was there alcohol involved and it was still quiet? Like, as far as, some people might have, BYOB.
I was drinking, so
Yeah, there was.
I didn't turn into a jerk.
I had a beer over the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, there were some people that were drinking, but there was no issues. I mean, everybody just got along, and it was a great time for everybody.
Well, that's what you guys want, right, Deb?
Oh, hugely. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for better.
No, I don't think we could have asked for a better crowd of attendees, vendors, volunteers, the whole nine. Everyone just seemed to click and get along well.
Was there...
Sorry, go ahead.
So, being that everybody got along and there was no ruckuses, was there any involvement at all from the local law enforcement?
Nope.
Never saw one.
None.
We never even saw them on the roads traveling in and out of the event, or anywhere around there. There was no stop points or checkpoints or anything like that. They basically just left us alone.
Good.
And it's a remote location as well.
Right. So we're not going to be bothering anybody to begin with.
Yeah.
And it was well advertised, especially in and around Truro, that the police were more than aware of what was going on.
Well, if you guys had a chance to ever attend the former location of the Hemp Fest that's held here in Ontario, it was like 8 hours north of Toronto. Can't get much further than the middle of nowhere there. And it was on a dead-end road, but they'd set up a ride program every year. They divert you into a field and go through your cars and stuff.
Yeah, nope, not here.
So it's good that you guys have got a thing like that with the community and the people around you that you're able to do this. And like you say, Deb, this is what your 9th year, right?
Yes, it is, Al, and we're very hopeful that this will be our permanent location. It's physically an absolutely beautiful spot, a wide open, large field, and you can see the sun come up in the morning and go down at night, kind of thing.
Good, nice. Now, what about when it takes to do these events? The three of you guys are involved in all these things, and I've been involved in stuff in the past. It's not just like that weekend. These events take time.
Months.
You guys work on this for months ahead of time?
Literally, we have no choice because we also run the Cannabis Cup in conjunction with it, so we have to have entries in, judges' packs out to all of the judges so that we can have the results back in time for the result or for the event where we presented the awards at the event live on 4/20 on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we were out scoping the field in hip deep snow.
Yeah, actually, our first visit to the location, we walked through the snow to see what we were getting into.
And
I believe that was in January, wasn't it, that you guys all headed off to do that?
Yeah, back in January.
And then you go back and you try to figure out where you want to put things, where setup's all going to be.
May and June, and July and July and July. And I think it was getting to the point, I think Chris was going to start to get ready to build his own log cabin and live there.
You're gonna move in, Chris?
Oh, it was crazy. There's just so much land prep. I mean, it's an old field, so there was cutting a lot of alders and clearing brush and stuff. But that's where volunteers are important. I mean, if we don't have volunteers, then then this kind of stuff just can't happen. Is the problem. So,
what if, like, I know when it comes to cutting grass and fields and holding events, like, it's long, it's deep, it grows in the spring and all that. But now, if you guys are going to make this an annual event at this location, I'm going to suggest maybe that try to cut it 2 or 3 times. So you cut it down earlier.
Well, that's what we started doing this year.
Did you?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Wow.
It
Okay,
was
good.
all mowed. He's got a tractor with a brush hog on it, so he can chop down a lot of the little trees that pop up as well.
Mm-hmm.
But to make it better, he's basically got to finish mowing this year and then start mowing again in the spring of next year. The more he mows it, the better it's going to get for us.
Yeah.
And I think we seriously need to look at, if it's going to be our current location, clearing some more fields and tearing down some more alders and getting actually some heavy equipment in to do that. Because, I mean, we were almost full. If we had had another 15 tents, 20 tents, we could have been they'd have been down the backside of the hill.
Yeah. The advantage that we have is the field hasn't been used in a long time for farming, so it's grown up with alders. What we had for a field is probably 1/4 of what's actually available for us.
Nice. So you got lots of room for expansion.
We have.
We sure do.
There's 80 acres total, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
If we had a access to a bulldozer for a weekend, we could have a really nice cleared out spot.
Yeah, you guys are flashbacking me 20 years here, because I went through all the same thing with a off-road contest that I helped organize when I was involved with the 4x4 club. A field that hadn't been used in years, needing equipment, needing people, cutting, moving brush. Oh yeah, been through it all. So, what's as far as, so you had to do all that prep work, all that beforehand. Have you looked at, is it accessible for people like in campers? You mentioned tents, campers and stuff like that. Maybe set it up where you have trailer areas or anything like that, or just free-for-all, park wherever you want to.
This year was kind of a free-for-all park.
First come, first served.
Next year, because we'll have more time to organize this, we probably arrange it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
But there was bus-sized motorhomes there. There was tents, trailers, people sleeping in their cars.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, Deb, you had an earlier guest on the show, Elijah.
Yes.
And how was all that?
Elijah was there all weekend with bells on. He had a marvelous sound system. He was one of our primary DJs throughout the weekend, did a lot of announcing for us, and he and his partner had an absolute blast and can't wait for next year.
That's
we
what you
were
like.
just, in fact, finally catching up and touching bases DJs throughout, and I haven't stopped working since I came home Sunday afternoon. I got home almost at supper time from the event because it's about a 3-hour drive for me, and I really haven't stopped working Harvest Fest related things ever since, getting in touch with people and doing follow-up as to suggested changes they might have for improvement next year, trying to get people's input and
good.
Get
Yeah, because now that you guys have done it at one location, at this location, right, first time, you've seen how it went, and now you can make changes, improvements, whatever along that line. Get everybody's feedback in.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The feedback
and I expect
was,
next year to be easier, where the stage is already set up and the shelter over the stage. Then that just having that part done takes 40-50 hours out of the setup part of the entire process.
Yeah, anything that you can maintain or retain from year to year sure saves you a lot of work. That's for sure.
You're doggone tootin'.
Yeah. Yes. So what all did you guys have there as far as you mentioned you had the stage, DJ, music. Did you have band show or bands there, demonstrations, things like that?
Debbie, you want to take that?
Chirp, 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 chirp.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Somebody jump on the ball.
Well, we actually had an assortment of entertainment on Saturday afternoon. We had a local DJ, Travis, who came in and played tunes for a bit. He's been a part of our Harvest Fest for a number of years, but actually I think next year he's going to switch hats and become our event photographer. We had different musicians and bands performing both evenings and sprinkled with some DJ music, anything from rap, country to rock. And Chris pushing this question off on me when he and Marcel were the key movers and shakers in the demo tent. Quite a distance away from the stage area, we had a garage in a box that doubled as our medical tent and our demo tent, and we had chairs so people could come in and sit down, and we had a variety of demonstrations going on over roughly an 8-hour period on Saturday, and that was bouncing back and forth between speakers on the stage. Our speakers included people like Evan Price, the president of the Truro Herbal Company, the new up-and-coming licensed producer in Nova Scotia, Ellen Durkee, who's with Cannabis. We've had a couple of patients on the stage. Inside the demo tent, our ongoing theme was concentrating on concentrates. So just about every form of concentrate was demonstrated or discussed. Marcel and Chris were the primary demonstrators throughout that whole period as well, although we did have Linda Hooton and Deborah Middleton from Ontario in attendance from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners, and they were demonstrating how to make cannabis salve. It was one that they had taken third place in the Lift Cup with, I do believe.
Correct, yes, it did.
And in the middle of it all, we had Darcy Pittman talking about sexing and cloning, harvesting, curing, and storing your medicine. So
Wow.
there was a little bit of variety there as well.
You guys had a weekend packed full of stuff going on, that's for sure.
We did, and we also, my apologies, his last name escapes me. We had a young gentleman there by the first name of Jesse from Moncton with Maritimer Glassworks. He's a relatively new and upcoming glass blower who does amazing work, and throughout the weekend he was doing a demo here and there. We even had a couple of gentlemen who, carnies, who sold cotton candy and popcorn throughout the weekend.
Help with the munchies, that's for sure. Imagine the glass. I know at the TY Expo over the years, the glass blowing was pretty popular. This guy, you gave him a spot to show his stuff. How do you make up? Like as far as people watching and stuff like that?
Well, because we hadn't really established set times that could be advertised in the program, which is something I think we'd most definitely look at doing next year as we continue to fine-tune. There were gatherings, but I suspect if we had have been able to have signs up and listings in the program that it was going on at specific times, the crowd would have been that much larger. But people really enjoyed watching him work. In speaking with him afterward, he had an absolute blast, and can't wait for next year.
Great, because it's glass art, is what it is. It's quite the thing to watch these guys make this stuff. So.
And people are transfixed by fire, right?
Yeah. Even through camera lenses, man, it still does that to you.
Yeah.
As far as Chris and Marcel, when it comes to you guys and your demonstrations, I imagine your booth was your tent was pretty busy all the time.
The
Yeah, we had a good crowd.
The hash demo had a really big crowd. Actually, bigger crowd than I was expecting, making me think that we needed a bigger area.
Well, that's what I mean. You'll learn each year you do it. You gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will have to enlarge that because hash is a concentrate. It is. It's a non-solvent.
And we showed them how to do it an ice bubble hash method, which is very simple and easy to do. It's just labor intensive and takes a bit of time.
Yeah. Have you to try to reduce the labor? Thinking of some people there with severe arthritis and other conditions. Have you ever tried any of those machines, those bubble bag style machines?
Well, we used the bubble bags, but we didn't use the bubble machine, like the actual machine. Yeah. I bring a half-inch drill with a paint mixer.
Yeah, that's the way I always did it too. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's quicker and it's a little easier than trying to do it with your wife's cake mixer because she'll just burn that.
But we did let people know that the little bubbleator is an option, and people that want to do it on a larger scale actually use real washing machines. So
yeah,
really.
So we
explained because those little machines are like a washing machine.
Well, they are apartment size. They're countertop washing machines.
They just have a big label on it that says it's for bubble hash.
they're meant for a t-shirt, pair of socks, and some underwear, right?
Yeah. Or
where do you put the softener in so that your hash stays nice and pliable?
This strain is called Downy.
Downy.
And yesterday it was fleecy.
There you go.
There you go. That's good. But there's got to be there's a lot of interest in that because I know here myself. I posted this morning about I was making a topical and I got private messages because people are looking, interested in that type of information. So it's good that you guys do something like that. It's not sure you're having a good time and having a celebration, but you're also doing education and these demonstrations on top of all that.
It always ends up being about education.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's see. What do you think? Or you guys got some ideas of things that you'd like to try next year?
Well, we were saying slip and slide, but I think with a bunch of sick people and like you said, arthritis and stuff, the liability might be a little too high.
Yeah.
Wheelchair races are fun, though.
Wheelchair.
Get down a hill.
Downhill wheelchair racing.
Oh, come on. Be nice to these people.
In all honesty, I'm thinking that I might just bring a truckload of water guns, make a little bit of money on the side, and let everybody have a free-for-all to cool everybody off.
Cool everybody off, yeah. It's like I don't know whether...
funny that sorry, Al, that concept of involving water guns had come to mind this morning.
And that was for cooling people off, or
getting out aggression. I don't know.
Yeah. Is there
damn it!
Could be both.
So, did you find? Let's see what else. A lot of people really interested in the topicals, the salves, and stuff like that. I know. Deb mentioned that Debbie and Linda did the salves, but
they had a good crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially the salve that she was making, some people got the benefit of that from some sunburns, and they wound up with no blistering or anything. So they were, and a couple people got that didn't use it. It went a little worse. So
yeah, some actually got it pretty bad.
They did. Yeah.
Well, it was hot and it was muggy. And that just meant you took off more clothes and exposed that much more to that.
Yeah. See, would have fit. You'd see those people would fit right in on Sunday.
Yeah, it'd probably be cooler up there.
They would, but I kept all of my clothes on.
Yeah, because it's now as far as local people, everything was good. The landlord, the landowner of the place. Obviously,
he had a blast.
Had a blast. Eh?
Had a blast. Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
He was at last year's event when we were deciding that we needed a new location, and he was actually one of the first attendees through the gate. And out of his mouth, I think before he was even aware of the fact that we were looking for a new location, was, you know, I got a chunk of land up near Truro that would be perfect for something like this.
And it was. He wasn't lying.
Is it flat, or is there a bit of an angle on it?
Bit of a slope, not much, but it's got some flat sections too.
Yeah, well, you know, sometimes that slope comes in handy because it allows you to put the stage down a little
And it
lower.
was, yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of a lift to the people. So, but so that's great. Now, are you guys looking at? You know, you probably promoted it on social media and stuff. Did you go any promotion as far as locally through, you know, the newspapers, anything along that line?
We've reached out to the radio station's community calendars. I've gotten spanked a couple of times by Kijiji now because it really bothers them to promote the use of an illicit substance, bastards. But
it's legal for people who are licensed.
Telephone poles. I know it's not. You're absolutely right. They don't care. They don't even recognize medical as a program. Marijuana is illegal, and I've gotten a few things that I was able to promote on them, but now they keep sending me letters and they tell me that they're gonna, you know, there's charges and stuff if I keep being a dick.
Really?
Push the envelope.
Yeah, because I know it's when you find some news media, whatever, that will run your ads. I always thought that was great because that shows some acceptance, and then, you know, obviously it gets the word out to everybody too, eh? Because
it's happening more. I hear the licensed producers, not the licensed producers. I hear some of the dispensaries spitting their names out on there, and the grow shops, and you know, so it's out there. I mean, even the Q104 does the 420 funny, right? So.
Oh, okay, yeah. So some stuff on the radio. Yeah, I know our local radio station out of Peterborough. They have a 420 moment on Fridays.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes. It's always good when you get a little bit of support that way.
A little toe in the door, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
An acknowledgement.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, you gotta open the door a little bit, and you know the doors are open more and more all the time now. So, you know, it's always good. And if you guys can take advantage of that in the coming years, that'd be fantastic.
See, and the trick is that everybody that supports it goes through the door at the same time, and they'll never be able to close it again.
Correct. That's right.
Everybody start piling through the door, and they'll never be able to close it again.
Let's see. What else we're just about to go to a break here, Deb. What can you? Do you guys have edibles as well at the what's it called? John Cook Memorial Cup?
Well, the cannabis cup portion of it was the John Cook Memorial Cup. And for listeners who don't know, John was the first person in Nova Scotia who established he always called it a compassion club because he was never fortunate enough to establish a storefront, but he dispensed medicine out of his car. And by out of his car, I mean he basically had a delivery service that he drove around, went in and met with patients and that sort of thing. So it was certainly quite convenient for patients, certainly shut-ins. But sadly, John passed away 3 years ago. It will be 3 years in a couple of days. He succumbed to a second massive heart attack in his early 40s.
Oh.
He had been a mover and shaker and MUMM's vice chair since our inception, and been quite a force to be reckoned with here on the East Coast. So when we started tossing around last year the concept of attaching a cup with the Harvest Festival, we started mulling over what might be an appropriate name, and Chris shot me his suggestion of the John Cook Memorial Cup, and it was a keeper.
Yes, I agree.
And we've been blessed to have John's widow, Krista, with us the last 2 years to help with the presentations and present the winners with their trophies and awards. So it's been quite meaningful for all of us.
It was good to see that she was involved in this. And when we come back from the break, Deb and Marcel and Chris, you guys can fill us in on who all the winners were. All right, guys?
Sure we can.
And we can chat about edibles and more as well.
Exactly. Sounds good to me. Sounds like we better get some munchies. Some snacks. All right, today we're featuring the band The Tall Brothers for our music, and we're playing the song talking about edibles, You Get Me Too High. When we return, Deb and I will continue this conversation with Chris Backer and Marcel Gignac. You're listening to the P.A.C.E radio show here at LifestyleRadio.ca. You're listening to the P.A.C.E radio show here at LifestyleRadio.ca.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Do you remember the times when you were little and Mom would let you run around naked? How about playing strip poker or skinny dipping with your friends? Would you do it now to educate people about cannabis? This coming Sunday, listen to another live broadcast of the 420 Roadshow featuring Al Rapp of Lifestyle Radio and myself, Al Graham of the P.A.C.E radio show. I will be on location in Tamworth, Ontario with our hosts, the owners and the operators of Freedom Fields Naturist Ranch, Yvonne Gibson and Hector Gravel. Joining us on the radio will be Al and our radio guests, Ross and Debbie Middleton. We'll be educating those in attendance as our live broadcast is going at 9 a.m. with our Wake and Bake session, followed by a discussion on alternative non-smoking choices. From there, we'll be talking to those in attendance about the history of naturism and cannabis, including its medicinal values. A talk couldn't be held without discussing the stigmatism that both lifestyles face in society. The Freedom Festival's long weekend activities also include tie-dyeing, body casting, helicopter rides, and bands playing at the watering hole on Saturday and Sunday night. Join us Sunday, July the 31st, in person at Freedom Fields Naturist Ranch, or here on the radio at www.420radio.ca or lifestyleradio.ca, as we take it all off to educate the uneducated. For more information about the Freedom Festival, you can call Yvonne at 613-358-9375 or go to their website, found at freedomfieldsnaturistranch.com.
Running naked like the day when I was born. Shiva, my sativa, you get me too high. Get me too high. Hey Shiva, got a fever. You get me too high.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
BMA offers cannabinoid testing, so if you want to prove you've got good medicine, head to BMA Hydroponics and prove it.
The National Task Force on Medicinal Cannabis is a group of not-for-profit organizations dedicated to influencing government policy with factual evidence. Our mission is to ensure that a constitutional medical program is developed that will address the concerns of all Canadians that require therapeutic cannabis. The task force is looking for dedicated people who are willing to contribute to our cause. We have formed this task force to foster a unified approach and focus on lobbying the federal government and Health Canada. We represent the combined expertise of thousands of patients with more than a decade of experience. As a task force participant, you, your business, or your group will have an opportunity to show that you care and offer your unique skills to promote the cause. If you would like to get involved, go to medcanataskforce.org. That's medcanataskforce.org and use the Contact Us link to get started. Help us help you.
Tune into the P.A.C.E radio show and catch Kim Cooper, Debbie Stoll-Skiffen, or Alison Merlin, along with myself, Al Graham, as we talk to Canadian and international cannabis advocates who are working hard to help patients and to end cannabis prohibition. Catch us live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at LifestyleRadio.ca.
Canada, the time to act is now. These days, your customers are seeking variety. Increase your earning potential by expanding your inventory with CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler. CC Nexus stocks over 60 reputable breeders, including Gignac seeds, with a wealth of autoflower, regular, feminized, and CBD strains. All first-time customers will receive a free pack of Gignac seeds, plus a mug, t-shirt, and additional promotional materials. Add strains and increase your profit with CC Nexus, your Canadian-owned and operated wholesaler of cannabis seeds. Discreet, worldwide stealth shipping from Canada, supporting you locally. Call today 1-844-843-7995, 1-844-843-7995, or visit us at ccnexus.global.
I overanalyze. If you've ever been too high, then you can sympathize. You get me too high. And I start to fly. If I said some silly thing, then that's the reason why. Shiva, my sativa, you get me too high.
Welcome back, and thanks for tuning into the P.A.C.E radio show. We are being broadcasted live here at LifestyleRadio.ca. Plus, you can find us at other locations such as Spreaker, even at the P.A.C.E radio show website, and we're at TuneIn Radio. Tonight we're featured, our music was from the band from out west, BC, I better get that straight. It's BC-based band, the Tall Brothers, and their song, You Get Me Too High. If you enjoyed their song tonight, you can find more of their music at tallbrothers.ca. Today on the P.A.C.E radio show, we have our guests Marcel Gignac and Chris Backer. They're with Maritimers for United for Medical Marijuana. I know I've slipped in that in the past over the time. And before the break, guys, we were talking about the John Cook Memorial Cup. And Deb was giving us a bit of history on all that. Who wants to tell us who some of these winners were and what was some of the things that they won as far as prizes, or what did they look at product, I guess.
Marcel was the grand poobah of taking care of that, so we'll let him reveal the winners to you.
Well, actually, Debbie was the grand poobah because I entered. I had no knowledge of who the winners were or anything, or what the scores were.
And being that you entered, that would be a conflict of interest. So somebody else had to do it, right?
Exactly.
And that would be me.
Right.
That would be you, Jeff.
What I did is I took care of all of the bud entries. I never even saw any of the edible entries other than what I entered myself.
I saw a Facebook post about what your entry was, and I think I would like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like that.
You think you could mail me some?
I don't think it would survive the mail, but...
Well, and certainly Marcel's entry was outstanding enough to win him the gold in the edible category for the second year running.
Congratulations, Marcel.
He's a show-off like that.
Well, he is, but that's a whole topic for another day.
Yeah, that's right. I get bragging rights.
The second place winner would be no stranger to you, Al. It was Tracy Curley from the Waken Bakery with her pixie sticks. I must say that was the most aromatic parcel I've ever received in the mail. We just opened it up, and it was just a
overwhelmingly grape?
Oh, yes. It was very, very grapey, enough so that I was hard-pressed not to get into them and want to sample them right off. So Tracy came second, and Medi Wonkas from Cannabis Consulting in Quebec took third place with it's very much like a gumdrop, a sugar-coated chewy candy that had a really nice flavor and very effective, folks found. Before I go any further and get into the indica and sativa categories, all of our first place winner walked away with a piece of glass that was designed and produced by Tabitha Ward, who's a member of our board, and she has an etched glass business made with
love.
Made with love. So she etched the first place plaques, I guess you'd call them, because they weren't trophies. And
you could consider it. I look at it as being a trophy.
Trophy, plaque, it's an award.
It's going to stand on its own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Oh.
It has a little stand that it sits on. And really, the photographs I've seen of them don't do them justice. You have to see them up close to appreciate the beauty of them.
Yeah, and it's probably hard to take a picture of it too, eh?
I'm working on it. I'd like to get a really good picture that shows the entire etching.
Yeah.
The problem is lighting makes it hard because it's curved glass to begin with.
Oh, that makes it even harder.
Yeah. So these are nice. Think of a square piece of paper that you've kind of bent a bit, so it's got a nice curve. Well, that's what this glass is. It's really nice.
And then it has a beveled edge as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe a panoramic shot.
They're quite stunning. And as well, we had medals for the second and third place winners with the John Cook Memorial Cup logo placed on them. And all of our winners walked away with quite a nice gift bag, an assortment of many, many things. We had the Truro Smokers Corner had donated a number of gift bags, so all of the winners got one of those with small glass pipe and a number of small items. All the first place winners received a nice bong from one of a number of the local smoke shops. They got
the first place bud winners.
Yes, and the first place edible winner actually walked away with a magic butter machine.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you get a butter machine there, Marcel?
I got a butter machine again. Yep.
Again.
I've won a few of them.
Well, I'm sure that you do very kind things with the extra butter machines that you have.
Actually, I do a lot of kind things, but I also do a lot of the demos with the butter machines.
Correct.
Even though I don't use one myself, because I don't make anything that small of a batch. It's great for anybody at home that's using it on a countertop.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a special guest at on Sunday's live broadcast, so you'll be able to speak to it while you're on the show.
Good.
Good. Now, Deb, what about when it comes to the flowers and things? How were the winners that way?
Well, for this year, we added a sativa category. Last year, we were just new and out of the gate and just had a general bud category. But this year, we've broken it down indica sativa. And I'll start with the sativa. First and second place winners were both from Cannabis Consulting, which would be Jose Dominguez, for anyone who may know Jose. First place was Original Amnesia. Second place was Jack LaMotta. And the third place was DJ's Gold by a grower who's going by the handle of 1620, who's from here in Nova Scotia. In the indica category, first place winner was Ryan Adams from St. Catharines, Ontario, with his Tahoe OG entry. Second place was Elephant Bud, that was entered by Weed Woman, again a grower here in Nova Scotia. And third place was Special K, again grown by Canacopia, which would be Jose. And we've gone one step further in coming up with all of the scores for the individual categories. It's then my job to go through and find out who had the best overall score from all three of the categories. And we have an award that we've called Judge's Choice. Last year that came with a variety of prizes, and it came with the honor of knowing that your name was on a plaque, on a trophy, as the winner for the year. And that trophy is one that we carry with us to some of our major events, as well as it finds its home in some of the hydro and head shops throughout the Maritimes that have been integral in sponsoring this event. This year we decided to go a step further, and we've created a Judge's Choice plaque that goes to the grand winners so that they can have something that they can put on their shelf and brag about to their friends.
And
so
dust.
Yeah, that too.
Sorry.
I see you're practical, Al. This year the grand winner was Ryan Adams with his Tahoe OG entry. And what was, I just want to throw one more thing in about the cup. What was really rewarding for me, I think, this year, and fun, was knowing that some of the out-of-province winners were in the crowd. We actually had Ryan and Tracy had joined us from Ontario and were there for the award presentations. So, and we had a couple of our local entrants like Marcel there as well to accept the awards. So it just keeps getting more and more exciting for us.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got a great list there, and it's good to see that people are entering from out of province as well.
Actually, we both years now for that the John Cook Memorial Cup, we've had entrants from outside or from across the country as well as from in Atlantic Canada.
Yeah, true. They were only the winners' names. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
Other entries be coming from all across the country.
Yeah, we had entries last year as far away as BC. This year, I don't think we got any BC entries.
No, we didn't, but I expect next year that will all change, and we're looking at adding a new category or two as well next year to continue branching out and growing with the cup.
I vote for indoor-outdoor. I'd like to see an outdoor category. Yeah.
I guess with an outdoor category, I guess it would be. I guess if somebody used an auto-fem that could get it freshly grown.
No, all they have to do is save an ounce from this year's harvest.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think part of the.
I plan on saving 3.
Yeah, oh yeah. Chris, you're being awful quiet there. I didn't hear your name. Did you enter anything into these draws?
Yeah, I entered 2 into the edibles and didn't make my way to the top, but that's all right. I still had fun eating them all.
Hey. And that's all that matters, right?
It is. Well, it is. I mean, there's what we require for an entry is so much smaller than some of the larger cups that it's easy to enter, and I mean it was just 20. Well, I put in 25 samples. I mean it's a gummy, 25 gummies. Holy cow!
Yeah. Because some of those contests are like I know I was involved with the TY Cup at times, and it was you'd have to send in basically a pound because you got so
exactly.
Many
it's disgusting.
Yeah, like how do you if you put in 25 gummies or whatever you're entering, how would not everybody obviously gets to try every sample then?
Well, there's 25 judges for edibles, so I send in 25 samples.
Oh, okay, so you would know that ahead of time. Okay, all right.
Yeah, we've limited to 25 judges for each category.
Mm-hmm.
That way, it's not a big hit for a patient to send, 2 or 3 ounces of medicine. They can get away with an ounce.
Nice. Yeah. That way they can enter as well.
Yeah.
And as well with the breaking down of categories, if someone were to apply to be a judge, or not apply, get in touch in time while they're still there, because the judging P.A.C.E certainly went like wildfire. I think in under 48 hours, all of the indica and sativa were gone. Once we put out there that it was time. We subdivided it so that you could just get a judging pack for the indica category or the sativa category or the edible category. You didn't have to buy something larger that would have absolutely everything that was entered in the cup. So that we're trying to keep it affordable so that patients can participate. I know patients have dreamt of being involved in a cup, to be a judge, to be an entrant, and like you just mentioned, it's cost prohibitive, or you have to enter way too much product, and then there's an associated fee as well. We don't have a fee. We keep it low. We keep it affordable for patients and easy to attain. And patients have a wonderful time. I sat with one person briefly on Saturday opening their judge's thank you pack, and it was just like Christmas in July for this lady. It was, a grinder. I needed one. A rolling tray. And it was one thing after another. Just all these wonderful items that had been donated by our sponsors, topped off with our first ever Harvest Fest shirt that also has a complete list of our sponsors on the back. So it was win-win, really.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a lot of growing hearts of people that really were really happy with what they received.
Seriously, if without the sponsors and the volunteers, the event wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Talking about sponsors,
I'll read you my shirt.
You're really...
I'll read
right.
I have one of these shirts. So,
that's right. You're doing this show nude, aren't you? That's right.
Yeah, I had to take my shirt off of this. So this year we did Harvest Fest T-shirts as thank yous to the judges and such. So the front has the nice Harvest Fest logo, and the back it says Harvest Fest 9 2016, and then it lists all of the sponsors, except one sponsor didn't get listed. And I'll explain that in the end. Okay. So on this shirt, it's Cannabis Technologies Incorporated, magicalbutter.com. They came through really good with supplying us some machines for demos as well as prizes.
Nice.
Higher Living Wellness Center Incorporated, the Medicinal Cannabis Patients Alliance of Canada, Vancouver Seed Bank, Intention Events, and they're the ones that did all of our recording and sound system and everything.
That was Elijah?
That was Elijah.
Okay.
Who will be releasing videos later this week of the event as well. I'm just going to sneak in.
Excellent. Okay, Marcel.
Skunk Magazine, Crop King Seeds, which also they came down from BC and set up a booth as a vendor at the event as well. KML Pharmacy, actually a joint venture between KML Pharmacy and the Truro Herbal Company, which is one of the fledgling licensed producers. They've sponsored us for a medical tent. So we actually have a first aid tent if somebody has an issue supplied with water and all of that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pure Canna Extractions, Radical Concepts, Made with Love, unique etched and vinyl glassware, who did our trophies for us, which are awesome. I love. 12 High Chicks, Steve Hydroponics Equipment, Honeybee Extractors, Valley Medicinal Cannabis Services, Tasty Buds, Canna Talks, and again the Truro Herbal Company is listed there. But the one that didn't get listed kind of came through just a bit late for the T-shirt, so they've got to get a shout out. And that's the Pharmacists Dispensary in Halifax, and they came through with some great gift certificates and really helped us out with our dab bar. We had a dab bar that people could partake. And we had a shipment of dabs that were donated that got caught in the mail, and pharmacists came through and filled that void for us.
Nice.
So we were still able to pull off an outstanding dab bar that I'm still kind of upset because I never did get a single dab.
You didn't get a dab?
Not one.
Oh.
I have lots of people telling me they had mine for me, but...
Now, did you find that with the dab bar, I don't know whether you guys had, you or Chris or Deb had much time to spend in there, but did they find that they had probably a lot of first-timers trying?
I never got to spend any time there. So I did. I talked to a young girl that said it was the first time she ever had dabs, and she actually ended up having 10 because she filled her card. Oh. So for the first timer, she had 10 dabs.
Yeah, because when we did the live broadcast from the Peterborough Cannabis Day, and they had a dab bar up there, a dab tent, and yeah, there was people who were trying them for the first time, and they were really enjoying them. You know, the taste and everything.
That's the advantage. It's the taste. As long as you don't take too big of a hit,
correct,
you'll be fine. It's just a matter of don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Your lungs can't take it all.
And I'd like to throw out a shout out of thanks to April Wells and her dab bar staff for the outstanding job they did tending bar all weekend and talking to people, educating people. April did an outstanding job rounding up all kinds of giveaways from bong stickers to, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a silicone mouthpiece that you can wear on a lanyard, put on the end of a bong, and not have to worry about the sharing and receiving of contagious diseases.
The other cool thing about those nice little safe, healthy devices, they create a better seal. You get a much better hit off of your bong using the silicone thing than you do with your lips.
Yeah, well, you probably got a lot smaller hole to draw from. Makes it probably easier for you to do too, eh?
That plus the fact that it makes such a tight seal on the bong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually a really nice rig. They were also giving some away that are designed for small little glass pipes and joints. So you can just stick your joint in the end of it and use that instead of passing joint from mouth to mouth.
Yeah. Because there are people, like myself, and I'm sure Chris is in the same boat. Immune situations, and people have colds.
Well, you also
That's not all they have.
You also don't know which patient might have Hep C.
That's right. Yeah, I was being nice, but yeah. Exactly. There are those concerns of passing things around in a joint. So having something to wrap it, I guess you should come up with a wrap your. Well, at least wrap your rascal or whatever.
Maybe we should change the subject.
Yeah, we should just get away from this.
Cover your doob.
I need an adult.
That might be something you may want to take in consideration when you're going out next weekend, Al.
Yeah. Aren't you worried about sunburn?
I'm actually going to be under a shelter because I dealt with melanoma skin cancer last summer, so I will be covered. I'll be in the shade. The shade will keep me covered. So, but let's see what else. What else can you guys tell us about your company? I know I wanted to ask you because this was a question that has come up at the Peterborough event, and it had to do. You guys mentioned the first aid shelter stuff. Do you actually have somebody there on site from St. John's or something in case somebody over medicates?
Nope, not for over medicates.
For
this year we actually had 2 girls there that were licensed with first aid. So any little issues that may have arose, but then there's other ones there like myself and Chris and Debbie that if something serious were to happen, you're pretty much covered.
Yeah, because sunstroke.
If you overdose on cannabis, we're just going to point and laugh at you.
Yeah, I know. But heat stroke, sunstroke, those type of things.
Right, those are our bigger concerns in that kind of weather, is that type of thing. So
yeah. Yeah.
So we made sure we had people that knew to watch for that. And,
Yeah, they kept yelling at me about it the whole time. They wouldn't shut up.
well, they were a little worried about you, but they also didn't realize that you only sweat from the neck up. So they were really concerned what was going on with you until I explained to them what was going on with you. They love you. They just want you to stay healthy, dude.
Yeah. Well, what else? Is there anything else you guys can tell us about the Harvest Fest?
Yes, everybody should come next year because it's wicked awesome.
It sounds a terrific time.
And every year it just gets bigger and better. But next year is our 10th anniversary for the Harvest Fest.
Yeah.
So we want it to be a big blowout. So you and all of your crew have to come down for it.
Well, we were down to the East Coast a few years ago.
And you're long overdue.
Well, yeah, because the time before then was 29 years. It took us 29 years to get back down there. And so, yeah, it's been 2 years now since we've been down there. And we've told the people who were visiting at the time that we would be back. And hopefully this time I don't drive in during a hurricane.
Well, I was just thinking about that one, Al. As we were talking about you coming again, we need to think about that one.
Yeah.
July is not really hurricane season, but I could see you bringing a tornado or two.
Well, we came in, what was that big storm you guys had down there 2 years ago? Like, it took out Fredericton. Our friends were without power.
Yeah, that's the one that uprooted 2 trees in our yard, took out our electricity. We were one of the unique ones in our community, but it took us like 10 days to get our hydro back, almost.
Yeah.
2 weeks for the phone. It was ridiculous.
It was bad. It was a bad storm.
Yes.
But
But that's not going to happen in 2007.
No.
But
No.
you do need to make some travel plans and bring your friends from Fredericton, from Things
Yes.
Smoke, is it?
Things. Yeah, that's there's them, and then I have some friends that I know from this end that moved down there that we stayed with last time, Glenn and Cindy, and they'll be down. They would be more likely interested in going down and seeing that as well. So
Nice.
yeah, maybe that will be our trip that year. We'll slide down and see all of you. Sounds like
That
a
would
plan.
be amazing. The other thing that we didn't mention, I think we just talked about it during break, was the fact that we had a number of vendors, and there were quite a few people selling edibles in various shapes and forms, from Marcel's medicated ice cream, infused maple syrup, squares, peanut butter cups, there was oil, there was just about everything imaginable, I think.
So you had vendors there as well, where people could go up and purchase, crafts and things as well.
Yes, we did have some crafts there because Tabitha certainly had her table with all of her etched and vinyl ware. Marcel's daughters had some cannabis crafts. We had our glass blower certainly displaying all of his wares. Number of edible vendors and a few food vendors as well. I think the final count was something like, and my bad, I'm missing Crop King seeds in there.
Yeah, Crop King seeds.
Marcel mentioned they had a booth there earlier, yeah.
Overall vendor count was somewhere around 14.
Nice. Good. And it'll just keep growing every year too. So
Well, definitely. I mean, we've seen growth in attendance, growth in vendors, and growth in interest and participation in the Cup as well. And I'm sure Marcel and Chris would agree. I expect to see nothing but growth next year.
Well, I can tell you, if I can get down there and I can bring my friend Al with me, I'm sure that you'll be seeing a live broadcast from there. If you got internet, what's your internet access like there? Yeah.
It's whatever you can get with your cell phone.
Yeah. I can operate on that, but yeah, I guess it depends on how strong it is.
Yeah, there's not much. You get a good strong signal there, but there's
Signal's great there.
There's no
Is it?
Wi-Fi. Yeah,
No,
we actually
yeah.
have really good coverage for the entire province of Nova Scotia for cell phone.
We had a
Good.
couple of vendors show up and go, okay, where can I plug my stuff into?
Yeah, that was
really try it.
Really?
What do you think?
we say rough camping. That would pretty much include that you're on your own for power.
Yeah. No, but as long as we had a good signal, okay, then we could do a broadcast from there, because like when I do the global marijuana march, all those live broadcasts, I really haven't had any Wi-Fi until this Sunday. I'll have a Wi-Fi set up, but they've all been on just the regular network. So yeah, it sounds like a possibility. We can get down there.
Well, now you know when to come and how to get here, so
that's right.
Make it happen.
Yes, over my birthday weekend.
What a great way to celebrate your birthday.
It would be.
Dab bar.
Yeah, at the Dab bar.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Deb, have you got anything else you want to bring up here?
Oh, I'm sure we're going to sign off, and I'll think of about 13 more things. But
okay, well, I'll let Chris and Marcel throw a shout out to whomever or wherever that they would like, highlight, promote somebody, whatever.
I'm gonna give a shout out to all of the ones that volunteered and actually helped, because really we want you back next year and we want you to bring your friends.
Yes.
Volunteers.
I will back you 100% on that.
Absolutely, and I encourage everybody that has the time and cares about what's going on to join up with either mom or volunteer or get involved in somebody's event, if not ours, and lend a hand, because the stuff like Marcel said, it can't happen alone. So
no,
it's community, and it's what's needed.
Yep, exactly. Chris, you got somebody you want to highlight, or you just want to join in with Marcel's?
I'm happy highlighting MUMM. That's what I put pretty much all my time into, and I encourage everybody else that's interested. Like, we meet the second Saturday every month in Bedford here in Nova Scotia. And if you're down, come on down, check us out, listen to what we got to say.
So your meetings
become part of the solution.
The meetings are open to the public?
Absolutely, anybody's welcome.
Anybody's welcome. Anybody that's in the area. Actually, my sister's down there right now. I'll send her a message.
Right on, right? Seriously, the more people that come, the more it spreads. I mean, and it's about just getting people involved, and they have to be aware to be involved. So.
That's right. Yeah, and that's how another fellow from this area. He just showed up at one of your meetings as well. So it's good. It's good that you guys have that open door policy, because that will bring people in too. So.
And I mean, I've heard it go as weird as people say that they didn't want to come, but maybe there's a cop there. Well, I'd encourage anybody to come. If you want to learn, that's how you're going to learn.
That's right.
If there's a cop there,
it doesn't matter if it's a cop that comes. He's going to see what's going on, and there's nothing illegal happening.
Right.
Exactly.
So if a cop shows up, the cop is there to learn as well, because he's going to get educated whether he wants it or not.
Yeah. Yep. I was doing educational movies at cafes, and the one down the road here from my house, I did it there for 3 years, and I would have the police would come in and order their coffees and sandwiches or whatever at lunchtime, and they'd stand there and they'd watch and listen, and then they would leave and sit outside and have their lunch. Yeah. Never bothered anybody. Everything was cool.
But I think the fear of their presence stops some people from coming.
It does.
We had one 420 there a couple of years ago, and the cops did show up, and they were just standing around, and we actually said, look, you guys are ruining our festival, okay? No, you guys can have undercover cops here. We expect you to. But to have a bunch of uniformed officers standing around, your people are not coming because you're here. Can you guys go do something else? And they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's nasty when they do that. It is.
It's not that it's nasty.
Well,
they do it because they can. But if somebody goes up and asks them, "Can you not do this here?" In most cases, they're going to comply, because a lot of times they're just there listening to learn as well.
We were doing a Bill S10 educational seminar in downtown Belleville a few years back, obviously, with Bill S10 was. And, we had 3 police officers show up, step in the door, cross their arms, and stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
That's for intimidation.
Yeah, and a week later, the local newspaper, the editorial, was ripping into them for doing that. Because it was an open public event, and they were there trying to intimidate people. So that's sort of why I brought that.
you wonder what would have happened if somebody had said, "Look, man, guys, you're welcome to come in and have a seat, but to sit there with your arms crossed like that's unnecessary. Like, either come in to sit down or leave, but don't stand in the doorway."
Yeah, we even asked them to participate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do that. I can't see too many police officers willing to participate, but I would definitely ask them to.
Yeah. I don't know if you know Boris St. Maurice. He was involved in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah. So, okay, Deb, you got somebody you want to throw a shout out at?
Well, I'd just like to echo Marcel and Chris's sentiments that our volunteers are certainly the backbone of our events, the backbone of our organization, and if you're sitting on the fence listening, thinking maybe I'd like to be a volunteer, don't hesitate to get in touch. Find us on Facebook under the Maritimers Unite for Medical Marijuana Society. Pop an email to chair@mumm.ca, and I'd be only too happy to answer any questions you might have about being a volunteer in our organization or a member of it as well. We'd love to have you involved. If you think any of what we've been chatting about in the last going on hour and a half, and it's officially 4:20 in Nova Scotia.
I was just waiting to right in for that.
I just lit up.
Don't hesitate to reach out and get in touch. I'd also I don't like to single out in individuals sometimes, but there was one volunteer that kind of stood head and shoulders this weekend with his level of support and consistency and dedication to the event, and yes, he's tall.
I have a man crush on him now because of this, you know that.
I'm beginning to suspect, but Brian DuPont, I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly,
I think so,
was helping Chris on every available occasion with site preparation. He was there on Thursday bright and early when people started to roll in to get set up for the weekend. Just one of those individuals that seems to know what needs to be done intuitively, and either will set off and go out and do it, or mention to you, hey, this needs doing, and I could do it, or I could find somebody else to do it, and just sort of a Johnny on a spot kind of guy, and he's certainly made all of our jobs a whole lot easier throughout the whole weekend. So thank you very much, Brian. Thanks to the rest of our volunteers, and my apologies if I've overlooked anyone at all who I maybe should have been highlighted during this show. I probably should have had a list of people before we started.
I have the mental list. I have ones like Lydia, Leslie, Lily, Dan,
Rob
Natasha, Rob Roy, Rob Scott.
But yeah, I mean, there's the
Rob
people
Scott
that
owns the property, and he threw a lot of labor into it as well.
There's the people that aren't scared to break a sweat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they realize that it's a lot of work and they still stay.
And they still do more.
Yeah, well, they come back the second time for more.
We even had a call come in from the gate saying that there were 3 people at the gate who'd like to come in, and wondering if we would let them work off their entry
admission
fee.
Yeah, that was awesome. Can always use more help.
You always use the help, for sure.
Well, the volunteers get free entrance, and people complain about not being able to get in for $20, and they didn't also offer to help instead, right?
Yeah. You work X amount of hours helping out, you get yourself in for free.
Yeah. A couple shifts on the gate will suffice in most cases, because the gate's further away from the event, and people don't really want to miss it, so it's kind of a
bad
spot to sit. But and the other aspect is it gives you a break away from everything too.
Yeah. We when we were involved with TY Expo, we'd help out as volunteers and help out the expo, and you know, everything you got something for helping out, and you got in for free and you got to participate and stuff. So
yeah,
that's basically the way we've been approaching things as well.
Yeah, that's good. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show today and talking about Harvest Fest. I wish you well in the future, and something tells me that everything is going to be very well in the future.
Yeah, I think it's going to rock next year.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, it's always appreciate to have you guys on. So.
And I'm not
Alrighty.
sure which side of the fence I should take here. Well, I'd like to thank Chris and Marcel, but I guess I'd also like to thank you as well, Al, for allowing me this opportunity to bring Chris and Marcel onto the show and talk about our event.
Well, hey,
and we'd like to thank you, Deb, for all the work that you do into it, because like without what you do too, we'd be screwed. So
Yeah, just so
All
you
right.
know, Deb's already started on next year.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
But that's
doubt
what
it.
it takes. That's what
Yeah.
people don't understand.
It does take that.
Fire this stuff together in a week or something, I think.
Soon as the one ends, the next one starts.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
That's
Yeah.
right. Been there. Okay, guys. I gotta go. You can find P.A.C.E. Oh, I just let you know. A reminder to let you know that next week, next Wednesday, I'll be back joined by joint host Kim Cooper and her special guest. You can find P.A.C.E. on Twitter at P.A.C.E. Radio, and then you can like us on Facebook as well. We're found on the web at pace-online.ca. And our thank yous tonight go out to our sponsors, the friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics, who are located in Belleville, Ontario. And as you heard Deb mentioned, Debbie from BMA Hydroponics, who traveled down there to participate in their event. And also let you know that the fine folks over at CC Nexus, Canada's largest cannabis seed wholesaler, they're on board helping us out here. A big thank you to Al Rapp of LifestyleRadio.ca, because without the man behind the baggie, we wouldn't be able to come to you. And a big thank you to our guests, Marcel and Chris. You guys are from the Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana. We appreciate everything you guys do and being on the show tonight. And Marcel, I will see you on Sunday. Well, I will speak to you on Sunday.
I will talk to you then, sir.
And also a big thank you to joint host Debbie Stoll-Skiffen, the chairperson behind MUMM. And a big thank you to our listeners.
My pleasure.
And a big thank you to our listeners who keep coming back and listening to our program. Thank you. And good night or good day, whatever it may be. Good afternoon now, wherever you are. Thank you. And we'll talk
Peace
to you
out.
next week.
Peace.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Life